Most people hear this advice and get it completely wrong. Study harder, study more, spend more hours learning English. So they push themselves. They watch more videos, they memorize more words, they do more exercises, but their English still doesn't improve. Why? Because the problem was never effort. The problem was direction. Let's be honest. Studying harder feels productive. It makes you feel like you're doing something important. But feeling productive is not the same as making progress. You can study English for 5 hours a day and still not be able to speak a single clear sentence. Why? Because English is not built in your notebook. It is built in real usage. Most learners focus on the wrong thing. They think, if I learn more grammar, I will speak better. If I memorize more vocabulary, I will be fluent. If I watch more lessons, I will improve. But here is the truth. You don't improve English by collecting information. You improve English by using it. Think about a gym. If someone watches fitness videos all day, reads about exercises, studies nutrition perfectly, but never lifts a single weight, will their body change? No. And English works exactly the same way. You don't get fluent by knowing English. You get fluent by doing English, speaking it, making mistakes, fixing them, repeating the process. But most learners avoid this step. Why? Because speaking feels uncomfortable. So they replace action with study, and that's where everything stops. They are not stuck because they are lazy. They are stuck because they are training the wrong way. And here is the key idea. Studying more is not the solution. Studying smarter is. But what does smarter actually mean? Let's continue. If studying harder was the answer, then millions of learners would already be fluent. But they are not, because they are stuck in a loop. Study, forget, repeat, and nothing changes. So what's missing? It's not information. It's not effort. It's focus. Most learners spread their attention everywhere. A little grammar here, a little vocabulary there, a few random videos, a few apps, but they never go deep on one thing. And shallow learning never creates fluency. Think about it. If you put your energy into 10 different directions, you get 10 weak results. But if you put your energy into one direction, you get real progress. That is what studying smarter means. Not doing more, doing less, but better. Let's break it down simply. Instead of learning 1,000 random words, learn 50 words and use them in real sentences. Instead of watching 20 different teachers, follow one clear method and repeat it. Instead of switching topics every day, focus on one skill until it becomes automatic. That is how real learning happens. Not through variety, but through focus. Because your brain doesn't improve from exposure alone. It improves from repetition, from depth, from consistency. And here is something most people never realize. Fluency is not built by learning new things. It is built by mastering basic things deeply. Now let's get to the real shift. If you want to study smarter, you need to stop asking, what should I learn next? And start asking, how will I use what I already know? Because most learners are not beginners. They already know a lot of English. They just don't use it. So here's the truth that changes everything. You don't need more English. You need more practice with the English you already have. Let's be clear. Fluency is not built by adding more information. It is built by activating existing knowledge. Think of your brain like a storage room. You already filled it with words, grammar rules, sentences, but nothing is organized. Nothing is active. So when you try to speak, everything feels slow. But the solution is not more storage. The solution is usage. Start simple. Take one sentence and use it in different ways. Speak it, change it, repeat it. This is how your brain wakes up English. Not by reading, not by watching, but by using. And here's a powerful truth. You don't need perfect English to start speaking. You need speaking to make your English perfect. Most learners wait. They wait until they feel ready. But readiness is a trap because confidence does not come before action. It comes after action. Every mistake you make is not failure. It is training. Every awkward sentence is progress. Every broken phrase is part of fluency being built. So the question is no longer, how much English do I know? The real question is, how much English do I actually use every day? Because that is the difference between a learner and a speaker. Now we arrive at the most important part of everything. Because even if you understand everything so far, even if you agree with all the ideas, there is still one hidden reason most learners never become fluent. They confuse learning with progress. Let that sink in. Just because you are studying English does not mean you are improving your English. And just because you feel busy does not mean you are moving forward. Most people are trapped in what we can call comfortable learning. They watch videos, they take notes, they highlight words. They feel productive, but they stay in the same place. Why? Because comfort feels safe. Speaking English is not comfortable. It is messy. It is slow. It is full of mistakes. And that is exactly why it works. Real progress starts when comfort ends. Think about children learning a language. They don't start with grammar rules. They don't study textbooks. They speak badly, they repeat, they imitate. They fail again and again, and slowly they improve. No fear, no perfection, just action. Now compare that to most adult learners. They want perfection before practice. They want confidence before speaking. They want full understanding before trying. And that is exactly why they stay stuck, because fluency does not work in that order. It works in reverse. You speak first, then you improve. You make mistakes first, then you fix them. You struggle first, then you get smooth. But there is another key point most people miss completely. Consistency beats intensity. You don't need 5 hours of study once a week. You need 20 to 30 minutes every day of real usage. Speaking, repeating, thinking, using English as a tool, not as a subject. Because your brain does not remember intensity. It remembers repetition. Small daily action builds automatic fluency. Big occasional effort builds frustration. So the smartest learners are not the ones who study the most. They are the ones who use English the most consistently. And now we are getting very close to the final idea. Because once you understand this next part, you will never look at English learning the same way again. In the final section, we will put everything together into one simple system that you can start using today to finally become fluent. Now everything comes together. Let's make it extremely simple. Fluency is not a mystery, it is not a talent, and it is not something you are born with. Fluency is a system, and that system has only 3 core rules. Use what you know, repeat it often, stay consistent. That's it. Most learners try to complicate English. They think they need advanced grammar or perfect pronunciation or a huge vocabulary, but in reality, none of that matters at the beginning. What matters is building a habit of use. Let's break it down clearly. Rule 1, use what you know. Even if it is simple, even if it is basic, even if it feels too easy. Simple English used daily is more powerful than advanced English never spoken. Rule 2, repeat it often. Your brain does not learn from one exposure. It learns from repetition. The same phrases, the same structures, the same ideas, over and over again. That is how English becomes automatic. Rule 3, stay consistent, not perfect. Not intense, consistency, because consistency turns effort into identity. One day you are studying English. After enough repetition, you become someone who thinks in English, and that is the real goal. Not studying, not memorizing, not collecting information, but transforming how your brain naturally operates. Now, here's the final truth. There is no perfect moment to start, no perfect level, no perfect confidence. You build all of that while you are already speaking. So if you are waiting, stop waiting. Start using English today, even if it is simple, even if it is imperfect, even if it feels uncomfortable. Because fluency does not come before action. It comes because of action. And that is the difference between people who stay learners and people who become speakers. Now listen carefully. Everything you need to become fluent has already been said. Not more lessons, not more information, not more theory. Just one simple truth. English is not learned by studying. English is learned by using. That's the entire system. Most people spend years preparing, but fluency does not belong to those who prepare forever. It belongs to those who start too early and refuse to stop. You don't need perfect English. You need active English. You don't need more time. You need better use of your time. Even 10 minutes a day of real speaking is more powerful than hours of passive study. Because every time you use English, you are not just practicing. You are rewiring your brain. Slowly, quietly, permanently. And one day, you will notice something surprising. You are no longer translating. You are thinking directly in English. You are no longer searching for words. The words come automatically. That is fluency. Not perfection, automation. So here is the final message. Stop collecting English, start living English. Today. Not tomorrow, not when you feel ready. Now. Because the only difference between you and fluent English is not knowledge. It is action.